Hello, welcome, Gay and Gayer, episode 6.
I don't know, what is it, 6?
6.
Hi.
Andy and Brian, and Mark by Mark Jacobs.
He's our new little mascot.
Yes.
Andy and Brian Ray, because my real name is Brian Ray. On my driver's license, on my birth certificate, on my homework that I sign whenever I sign my credit card, it's Brian Ray. So if I see you in a club and you've heard of me from so-and-so, or I'm friends with this person, or you saw me on MySpace, or whatever, Brian Ray is not a stage name that I made up for some imaginary stage that I don't have. I'm really Brian Ray. That's a stupid question to ask. Don't. Alright.
I'm Andy Ratto, by the way. I know some people think that that's my stage name.
No one thinks so. Alright, early sex test drive, Andy?
Yes. So people need to realize that if they... So there's some people who are just really happy with whatever sex is happening. And people are going to blow each other, or give each other hand jobs, or have anal, and you can top, and you can bottom, or you can be versatile, and it's all a good time, and it's all happy and fun, and whatever's going to develop sexually, everyone's going to enjoy it. So there's some people like that. The dog is chewing on
There's really not that many in the gay community.
Well, there's some.
There are some. It's true.
And so
I guess that's vanilla, right? I mean,
yes.
yeah.
And then there are other people who are like, maybe they're a little particular. Like, they like to top most of the time, and sometimes they bottom, or...
I think that's still vanilla. If you just like to top all the time, and you just like to essentially just have sex, that's still vanilla.
If you're just kind of generic sexuality, that's fine. You don't need to worry about that. It's going to work itself out, and you can concentrate on dating people who you love whatever's inside, or I don't know what people are actually looking for when they date. That's all fine and wonderful, and that's how you can do it. If you're someone who's slightly more particular with your sexuality, like if you really love being pounded by big black guys, or you...
Is that really a fetish?
Yes.
I think that's just a size preference.
Well, yes, if you have a size preference. Or
that's not a fetish if you just have a size preference.
Well, it kind of is.
No, it's not. That's vanilla, and you have been...
If you cannot be sexually satisfied by someone with a normal-sized dick...
You can't define it. First off, normal, totally subjective. Secondly...
Average.
No, then that's just...
Mathematically.
Then maybe your body isn't average. Maybe your body is a little bigger or deeper or something, and you need... if someone... like, pretty much insists on a really large dick and they're primarily a bottom, I do not consider them a fetishist. In any way, shape, or form,
well,
they're still
it's the type of thing that they need to consider.
Now, if they want to be pounded while tied up, then they're a fetish.
Yes. So, yes, and if you need to be tied up, then...
Definitely.
You should be aware that you shouldn't date
Nothing wrong with it.
No, wonderful. Love it. Enjoy your life.
Good for you.
You should be aware that you probably shouldn't date someone for 2 or 3 months and really have feelings for them and start to fall for them, and take it slow with the sex stuff. Because then you're going to find out in 3 months that maybe you're not sexually compatible, and then you're going to have to break up. Because you do not want a long-term relationship with someone who you're not sexually compatible with.
Right.
So everyone needs to decide, am I sexually picky or am I sexually easy to please? And if you're sexually picky, then do everyone a favor and don't have this prolonged courtship while you save your flower until everyone is good and ready.
Right.
Because then you're just going to end up being disappointed.
Like, Andy will let you know he's heavy into water sports on the second date. Because, he's responsible like that.
There's actually a funny story about that that's entirely
that we're not going into right now.
Gay and Gayer.
Because I just made that up. I don't think he's really possible. I don't know. Andy could be.
With closing, as Steve used to say, when the sex is good, it's 20% of the relationship, and there's other more important stuff. And when the sex is bad, it's 80% of the relationship.
It's a huge part of it.
So
there's pointless to have that.
If the sex is going to be bad, just have sex on the second date, and then if it's bad, just go your separate ways. Don't drag it out for a couple months and then find out the sex is bad, because then it's just awkward. I
think we can easily do 6 minutes on STDs. Don't you think?
Sure. We'll get started.
Okay. All right. We wanted to touch on STDs in the gay community, which obviously has been talked about a lot, but we both recently found out there's a new staph infection that is it's
antibiotic resistant.
Yeah, antibiotic resistant, which means nearly incurable. Sometimes they can be fatal, can't they?
Yes.
Staph infections can be fatal. It's rampant in San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and Boston right now among gay men, which is not good because all we need is another disease or fatal thing that's immediately connected to us. It's just helping, God brought it on.
The straights get upset when there's a new plague being spread by the gays.
Good Lord. And that, on top of all the other STDs, on top of the fact that HIV is still exists, we should be fucking wrapping it up and ending it. We should. Why is this still an issue?
Here's one.
You know why this is an issue? I'll tell you why this is an issue. Because younger homos think HIV doesn't exist anymore and think that, that...
It's actually fascinating. I don't know a single person who's died of HIV.
Exactly. They don't know people. And I'm not saying I'm older, and I'm not saying I directly know anyone. I know people with it. I don't know anybody who's died from it, but that doesn't mean it still can't happen. It doesn't mean it, it doesn't mean it still can't, I don't know. It just makes me so angry I can't even discuss it. Yep.
Here's one piece of advice regarding the staph that's resistant to antibiotics. If any of the gays out there, if any of you or me, get antibiotics prescription, you need to finish them. That's the crucial part. It's not medicine that you take until you feel better. You take it until it's all gone.
That's what creates a staph infection. Is when someone has some other kind of infection or a less bad, I don't know what the word is, like a staph infection that is curable by antibiotics. When they only take half of them, that infection realizes what it can do to fight off these antibiotics because you didn't use enough of them, and then becomes even more powerful and then can fight off future antibiotics. Thus creating a staph infection not curable by antibiotics. And of course, dumbass homos don't finish their medication. And we create this new...
It's partly because a lot of us are kind of poor, and so when we get our medicine, we need to hoard it, and when we feel better, we stop taking it and save it for the next time.
It's retarded. I would finish it.
So another question that I had was whether or not it's okay for HIV-negative gays to have as a policy, I will never have sex with anyone with HIV.
I do. I'm HIV negative, and if I know that you're positive, then nothing will ever happen. I'm sorry. I still think you can be a wonderful person. I'll also spend time with you. Your dog is biting me. But we can't do anything sexual. Nothing sexual. I'm sorry. I mean, that could sound really bad, but I have to be safe, and you have to understand. And if you're, let's say 19, and you are positive and you're fully aware that you're positive, don't put on your Manhunt and your Gay.com. Don't just leave it blank. Leaving it blank is not honest. If you are aware of your status, you need to put positive. I'm really sorry it happened to you. You obviously have a lot of emotional and mental things to deal with now for the rest of your life, but do not leave it blank. Don't say that people are, like, what do you know, their argument is that they're
people
intolerant or whatever.
Well, the one thing is they say that everyone should ask anyway, and that before you sleep with someone, you should ask them.
But if you're primarily meeting hookups on a site where there is specifically a section for HIV positive or negative, and you left it blank, you're lying. And there's a lot of subjects that are making me really angry today, which is not good.
Well, the reason they're leaving it blank is because of all the...
Because they want to hook up more.
Yeah.
And because I have specifically met people, several, that have left it blank. We've met, we've befriended or whatever, and thank God I had friends that knew their status and in an intoxicated state saved me from possibly doing something. I mean, I never have, thank God, but it's really close calls I've recently found out, and it's really made me angry towards these people who I used to consider friends. And now I really don't feel like I can because I feel like they've lied to me.
What does the time say? I can't read it.
8:34, we have like a minute and a half. I guess we couldn't do 6 minutes on STDs.
No.
Do you want to touch on something else real quick?
You want to give your Madison shout out first.
Oh, Madison Elise, if you do watch this, which I don't think you do, but if you did, last night that cartwheel into splits at S&M, amazing, loved it. Everyone who hasn't gone to S&M, which I shouldn't be making it public, but I think it's changing days soon to not Tuesday. Don't quote me on that. Don't take me
for now. Go on Tuesdays.
Right, but for now, keep going on Tuesdays to S&M to see Madison Elise cartwheel into splits in like 4-inch heels and like a purple velour jumpsuit, whatever the fuck she had on. She does a lot of those weird little one-piece full body things.
Yes.
This is the end of the show. You have to wait to the end of the show. I mean,
we can do a little ask of what people want to hear about in the future.
Email us at gayandgamer@gmail.com.
I want to talk about makeup in the future.
I think that's completely uninteresting. I think if you have a blemish, cover it up. He wants to convert it into straight world. I don't think there are that many straight.
I don't think if you have a blemish, covered up is the rule. I think we should allow people to go in public with their blemishes.
No, I think cover it up.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Why people are unattractive with blemishes? Why do you want people to be unattractive?
Stop judging people because they don't want to put on makeup anymore.
I am. Fix yourself if you're unattractive.
I think we can talk about this in the future.